Children, eating the tangerine in mindfulness means that while eating the tangerine, you are truly in touch with it. Your mind is not chasing after thoughts of yesterday or tomorrow, but is dwelling fully in the present moment. The tangerine is truly present. Living in mindful awareness means to live in the present moment, your mind and body dwelling in the very here and now. A person who practices mindfulness can see things in the tangerine that others are unable to see. An aware person can see the tangerine tree, the tangerine blossom in the spring, the sunlight and rain which nourished the tangerine. Looking deeply, one can see 10,000 things which have made the tangerine possible. Looking at a tangerine, a person who practices awareness can see all the wonders of the universe, and how all things interact with one another. Children, our daily life is just like a tangerine. Just as a tangerine is comprised of sections, each day is comprised of 24 hours. 1 hour is like one section of tangerine. Living all 24 hours of a day is like eating all the sections of a tangerine. The path I have found is the path of living each hour of the day in awareness. Mind and body always dwelling in the present moment. The opposite is to live in forgetfulness. If we live in forgetfulness, we do not know that we are alive. We do not fully experience life because our mind and body aren't dwelling in the here and now. Gautama looked at Sujata and said her name. Yes, teacher? Sujata joined her palms. Do you think a person who lives in awareness will make many errors or few? Respected teacher, a person who lives in awareness will make few errors. My mother always tells me that a girl should pay attention to how she walks, stands, speaks, laughs, and works, in order to avoid thoughts, words, and actions that might cause sorrow to herself or others. Just so, Sujata, a person who lives in awareness knows what she's thinking, saying, and doing. Such a person can avoid thoughts, words, and actions that cause suffering for herself and others. Children, living in awareness means to live in the present moment. One is aware of what is taking place within oneself and one's surroundings. One is in direct contact with life. If one continues to live in such a way, one will be able to deeply understand oneself and one's surroundings. Understanding leads to tolerance and love. When all beings understand one another, they will accept and love one another. Then there will not be much suffering in the world. What do you think, Svasti? Can people love if they are unable to understand? Respected teacher, without understanding, love is most difficult. It reminds me of something that happened to my sister Bima. One night she cried all night long until my sister Bala lost her patience and spanked Bima. That only made Bima cry more. I picked Bima up and sensed that she was feverish. I was sure her head ached from the fever. I called Bala and told her to place her hand on Bima's forehead. When she did that, she understood at once why Bima was crying. Her eyes softened and she took Bima into her arms and sang to her with love. Bima stopped crying even though she still had a fever. Respected teacher, I think that was because Bala understood why Bima was upset. And so I think that without understanding, love is not possible. Just so, Svasti, love is possible only when there is understanding, and only with love can there be acceptance. Practice living in awareness, children, and you will deepen your understanding. You will be able to understand yourselves, other people, and all beings, and all things, and you will have hearts of love. That is the wonderful path I have discovered.